Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Natalia Zacharin on the line, and she's owner and principal over at Zacharin Consulting. Natalia, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So I'm excited to get into today's topic. I mean, a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of executives are listening, and we're going to talk about financials and the importance of why business owners need to understand them. But before we get into that, let's start off with tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Zacharin Consulting. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure, absolutely. So I started the business a little bit over a year and a half ago now, and I specialize in accounting services for small businesses and anybody from the sole proprietor to a business that has several employees. We do a monthly accounting services, which includes the bookkeeping piece, as well as monthly and financial reporting. The way we are a little bit different from most other people that offer these services is that we actually sit down and we analyze the business and review all the financial reports in a way that makes sense to the key personnel of the company on a regular basis. We go over any goals that they might have, financial goals, sales, revenue goals, if they want to perhaps scale their business or purchase something, add some capital or add employees. We make sure to take those goals in mind and keep track of what's happening in the financials to make sure that we're headed in the right direction. We also offer cleanup of accounting services, and we're finding that that is a very important step. To have accurate financials is very important so that everything is reflected correctly. And there are a lot of businesses out there that either try to do the accounting themselves or even work with another firm or bookkeeper, and the accounting may not be very accurate. So we do cleanup services. We also do setup. We can move people or businesses from one platform to another. Everything that we do is very top-notch. We figure out exactly what the business needs, and we tailor what they need for their business in order for them to reach their goals.
Let's talk a little bit more about the importance of understanding financials. So you've worked with a lot of companies, and I'm sure you have some horror stories out there. Tell us a story.
Yes, absolutely. So there are a lot of horror stories. I talk to people all the time, so I'm always reaching out to people and trying to. I do mentorship programs as well. So I'm finding that a lot of business owners don't really understand what's going on in their business. So either they'll work with another firm and they'll just give them all of their information and hope that they do their taxes correctly and maybe ask one or two questions, and then there's no ongoing communication and there's no ongoing discussion of what's happening. And a lot of businesses don't really know where they stand. So I have a lot of horror stories. I've had businesses where they had no idea. They've been in business for many years and had no idea they actually invested more money into their business than they ever made. So that's a true story.
They saw cash flows coming in and they just didn't really do the end of it to say, wait a minute, yeah, you made money, but not really.
Right, exactly. People look at their bank account and they think, oh, I'm doing really well. But your bank account is lying to you. That's not what's actually happening because that money could have come from many different places. So they're not really doing an analysis of what's going on. So that's exactly right. They're not looking, that would be an information, for instance, that you'd get on your balance sheet, and they're not looking and analyzing all of that data. I have seen businesses where, in fact, one of the people that I was recently working with, and I still work with, their bookkeeper had not entered in their financials correctly. So they were like at a negative $110,000 in their QuickBooks, which was completely not accurate. And they were hiring and paying that person to do their financials for them.
Wow. And so what's an appropriate amount of time that even if they're hiring somebody, they should be spending to review these? Like, what do you recommend? So I believe you do it monthly, or is it quarterly? I mean, what's the bare minimum for your typical small business owner?
Right. I believe it's monthly. So every month when all of your financials should be completely done for the month by the first or second week of the following month. You get your bank statements and all of your credit card statements in and anything else that you're using for your business. Everything needs to be reconciled so that it's correct and accurate. And then you should be looking at your financial reports. The financial reports, the basic ones are your profit and loss, which is your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. Those are pretty much the minimum ones. And to have someone that works with you and actually explains what's going on and shows you the trend is really a great way to make progress in your business. So I think it's really important to not only look at it yourself, but maybe to partner with someone. So if they're looking to hire someone as a bookkeeper or as an accountant, they really need to ask more questions and see if they can get more information. The bookkeeping piece also needs to be done with an eye for what the information should be reflected in their data, in their financial reports. So you can't just enter in expenses. You have to understand what they're supposed to reflect and what information you're supposed to glean from that.
What are some of the attributes of working with a good financial professional? So what are some of the things that people should be that are listening to this right now and they have a bookkeeper and they're kind of thinking about like, well, I don't know, nothing's broken. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of thinking that once you set something into place, that momentum, what are some of the things that they're maybe missing out on?
Right. So I think that one of the things is to have communication and responsiveness, to make sure that the person you're working with is very responsive, that they are wanting to communicate with you and tell you what's going on. You really should have a very clear picture of your profitability. So you should know exactly what your profit's doing and look at the trend. It's the trend of where it's going, not where you stand today, but you should be looking at how profitable you are and how that's trending, because a lot of times when your business is growing and revenue is coming in, expenses are usually also going up. And that's a very difficult time where your profit can actually tank. So you might be making more money or thinking you're making more money, but you're actually making less.
And so let's take that one step further when we talk about scaling and how important understanding those financials are.
Yes. So it's super important. The other thing I would say is businesses tend to hire people when they feel that they just have too much work. They can't do it or they have enough work to hire someone. That should be more of a financial decision than a decision as to whether they can do it or not. So it's important to look at your financials and seeing how that is going to impact your business. So that would be one thing. When you're scaling, you want to make sure you're going to be spending more money. You want to make sure your business can handle that expenditure and that you have a plan to make sure that profit keeps going up. So the profit might dip, and that's totally fine, and that's normal. Every once in a while, the profit's going to dip as you are investing more in your business. So you want to make sure that after it dips, that you have plans in place and you have you kind of understand your revenue stream and you reverse engineer that to make sure that you have enough revenue coming in to cover that dip in time and to keep growing that.
That's awesome. So, Natalia, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information over on Zacharin Consulting, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out?
So the best way to find me is I have a website. You can Google Zacharin Consulting. And I'm also on Facebook under Zacharin Consulting, or you can find me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is under Natalia Zacharin. I believe you can also find Grow Your Bottom Line, and then my Instagram handle is Grow Your Bottom Line.
Fantastic. Well, Natalia, awesome having you on the show today. Been a pleasure catching up and also learning more about what you're doing over at Zacharin Consulting. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, then definitely give us a subscribe there and leave us some comments in the video section. Love to hear your thoughts and to see what you're up to. And Natalia, thanks again for coming on the show.